In today's halacha, we're going to discuss a fairly common occurrence that is relevant to the time of Rosh Hashanah, but in truth is not limited to Rosh Hashanah and applies at any time of the year. The discussion is with regards to when and how is it permitted for one to take a Sefer Torah, remove a Sefer Torah from the ark of a shul, and bring it to a private minyan, to a temporary minyan, just for the sake of reading the Torah at that minyan, and then returning the Sefer Torah after the conclusion of the minyan. So this mainly applies during the following times of the year. This shaila comes up during Rosh Hashanah when people make a lot of what's called field minyanim. They make private minyanim, especially due to the many different nuschos of prayers, and sometimes specific classes want to make a Rosh Hashanah prayer. In Israel, it's very, very widespread that many different yeshivas make private prayers for their yeshivas, and also alumni of the yeshivas and communities want to make a prayer with the alumni, and therefore they rent rooms. And this is especially relevant and prevalent in Chabad houses, that they try to rent a much bigger audience, a much bigger area, auditorium for the Rosh Hashanah services. So the question is asked, what can one do regarding the Sefer Torah? The question, Derech Agav, also comes up regarding Pasha Zachar. Can you take a Sefer Torah somewhere for it to be read for people to hear Zachar? And also regarding Shavuos, can you remove a Sefer Torah so people can hear the Aseret Sadibros as was the Rebbe's Torah? So it's recorded in Shulchanaruchharav of the Mechaber in chapters 135, Halacha 14, and chapter 584, Halacha 3, regarding Rosh Hashanah, that it is forbidden to bring a Sefer Torah to read for people that are incarcerated or people that are sick and can't come to hear the Torah. It's asur. What's the reason that it's asur? The Achronim explain that the reason is because this is considered a belittlement to the Torah. As one should bring people to the Sefer Torah and not bring the Sefer Torah to other people. As the Sefer Torah is something of honor and respect, and therefore should not be moved around for other people. It's explained, however, that this only applies in a case that there isn't a minyan of people that need to read, to hear the Sefer Torah. As when you have a minyan that requires a Sefer Torah, then there's an actual chiyuv of reading the Torah. It's a mitzvah for a minyan to read. When it's an individual, so we don't bring a Sefer Torah together with a minyan to merit the individual. But a minyan, they have a chiyuv to read Torah. Nevertheless, even in such a case, it is only permitted to bring a minyan, a Sefer Torah, if the minyan is unable to come to the Torah for reasons beyond their will. The only other way to avoid this problem, as usually in all the cases we mentioned by the Chabad house and by the Zohar reading, they are perfectly capable of walking into a shul if they so decided and so wanted to hear Kriyas Torah, and thus bringing the Sefer Torah to this minyan is not necessarily considered a minyan that it's against their will to come to a different shul. So the other allowance is as follows. The Ramah brings down that if someone places the Sefer Torah in the area that he wants to move it into and leaves it there for a day or two, that is the wording there in the Ramah, for a day or two, and adds the Magen Avram, and he prepares a mechubed, a respected area, such as an ark or as a closet, for the Sefer Torah to be stored, to be kept, while it remains there, then it is mutter to bring it there in all cases. As in that case, it's not considered a belittlement or a disrespect towards the Sefer Torah, as we're not simply bringing it and then taking it back. And this allowance applies whether one brings a Sefer Torah there a day beforehand and it thus stays for 2 days, or one brings it there that day and it stays for another day. It doesn't matter when it stays the 2 days, whether the day before the reading or the day after the reading. Likewise, this allowance applies even towards people that are able to come to shul, but for whatever reason want to make their own minyan, such as they have a different nusach, as we explained, is common on Rosh Hashanah. Or such as by a Chabad house, that many people then won't end up coming to shul because it's not in their area. In all these cases, it is permitted to use this heter of leaving it there for 1 to 2 days. Nevertheless, it's brought in Paiskim that even in these cases, one may not bring the Sefer Torah there right before Kriyas HaTorah, and rather he is to bring it there at least before Shachris. In other words, even if he plans on leaving it there for 2 days, it has to be noticeable that it's been given its set place before Shachris has begun, and not just that it's being brought for the sake of people hearing the Torah. Likewise, it's brought down in the Halacha Shulchan that in addition to all the above conditions of setting up an ark and leaving it there for 2 days, one is not to return the Sefer Torah until he reads it on 3 different occasions. So regarding Rosh Hashanah, this isn't much of an issue because when you bring the Sefer Torah, there are going to be a few times you're going to read the Torah, as you read the Torah by Shachris, and that's Shachris of 2 days. And this year also, since it goes straight into Shabbos, we also read it on Shabbos, and thus we have 3 readings that are taking place with the Sefer Torah. Even though there's no real source for this requirement of reading 3 times from the Sefer Torah, but the Aruch HaShulchan says that this is a widespread custom, and one should not nullify this custom, as this really makes a chazakah, a strengthening of being able to read the Sefer Torah in this place, that it shows that this Sefer Torah belongs in this area. Regarding if one is allowed to move a Sefer Torah from one room to another within the same shul. In other words, he's not moving the Sefer Torah at all out of shuls. For example, when you want to make a few minyanim in the same shul. So it's brought down in Achreinim that there's no problem in doing so. So it's brought down the Mati Yehuda, the Ramas, the Beis Shlomo, the Hatzri, Avim Eishlavar Bulchach. And the reason is because in the same building, there's no bid element when you're moving from one area to another. Nonetheless, mention must be made that there are Achreinim in the Maitarav of the Gra, the Motzia, that state that one should not move a Sefer Torah even from room to room in the same building, and this is based on Kabbalah. So in summary, in final answer to the question of may a Sefer Torah be brought to a Chabad house minyan that is established especially for Rosh Hashanah, the answer is yes, albeit they have to fulfill the conditions we mentioned earlier, which is to set up an ark for the Sefer Torah, and the Sefer Torah should remain there a day or 2, and to try to read at least 3 kriyas, 3 readings with the Sefer Torah. Regarding what's brought in the Mishnah Brura and other Paiskim, of that some are accustomed to take a Sefer Torah to another building on Rosh Hashanah during Kriyas HaTorah, in order so many people get aliyahs. So the Paiskim scream out against this custom, because there's absolutely no heter of taking a Sefer Torah out of the building simply for other people to get more aliyahs. The Aruch HaShulchan mentions that although it's a mitzvah to get an aliyah on Rosh Hashanah, nevertheless those that take a Sefer Torah to another room for the sake of an aliyah, so they're doing a mitzvah that's coming through an aveira. They're transgressing an aveira of removing a Sefer Torah from its set place without the allowances we mentioned of preparing an ark for it and letting it remain there for a day or 2. Nonetheless, the Mishnah concludes that if the aliyahs will be sold and the money will go to charity, then it is permitted to be done. So all in all, in summary of this topic, it is permitted for one to move a Sefer Torah to a private minyan, on condition that he fulfills the requirements mentioned of preparing an ark, leaving it there for a day or 2, and reading from the Sefer Torah on 3 occasions. And those that want to make a separate minyan just for Kriyas HaTorah Rosh Hashanah, they have upon whom to rely, even if they bring the Sefer Torah to another area, so long as the aliyahs are being sold and going to tzedakah.